Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Okay, yeah, grab some petty tea. Let's go. Let's sit. Gonna be mostly political today. And I do have a political dating nightmare episode I really want to do because who the amount of men who tell me they don't vote with all of their heart and they're so happy and proud of themselves, and then they put me down for the right to vote, but they don't realize that voting gives you other rights. And now, like, literally, the Supreme Court might be taking part of your freedom to vote away to the point where when you finally want to be heard, if you disagree with somebody with something or somebody and you need for something, you won't have a chance. You won't have that chance. And it's really infuriating when black men tell me that they don't vote. But then they get mad at me when I don't. I'm like, okay, then we don't need to date. I'm not dating you. And they're like, that's not a big deal. How are you? You're not going to date me because I don't vote. How stupid are you? It's like, mm. And I it's like recent, like within the last 30 days, I think I've come across three black men who say they don't vote and eight white men who say they don't vote. It's like, and it's for like, yeah, with the Middle Eastern men, I don't even like normally, like within after hello, how are you? It's will you sleep with me? So I don't even know like it that topic too much with them, with a few of them, but not too many because they're on a whole different pathway with that one. So, but okay, today's topic, yeah, it's like, sorry, yeah, I'm talking about what I just talked about another time because I keep hearing with some of these TikTokers and YouTubers and the colonizers how they want to deport the African Americans, not the African people or the people from Africa, but the African Americans that have been here for generations and things like that. And I'm just, I find it really interesting because the, the more they say, I don't have white privilege, then they say stupid things like that. Honey, it's like, honey, darling, stupid, idiot, poorly educated soul. Like, again, racist, bigot. Yeah, that's white privilege. And it's like, it far goes. Like, it's not only that we are citizens, black people are citizens. Like, we were born here, our parents were born here, our ancestors for generations were born here. Our ancestry goes possibly farther back than some of the colonizers here, because sometimes I hear like some of the colonizers, they say, yeah, we came, like my family came after the Civil War, blah 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 blah. And it's just like, okay, so that means that my family was here before your family because I got here because of why we had the Civil War, you know. But it's like when they say they want to deport us, I have some questions. I have some questions because one, it's like, because, and it's like, this is the funny thing. I've heard a lot of black people say, where are you going to send us? Because, I mean, that's one of the top questions we all want to know. Wait, can some people are like, well, duh, Africa. Do you know how many colonizers think that Africa is just one whole country and not a continent? South Africa is a country. Africa is a continent. Do you know how many colonizers don't know that? And see, this is why we need to teach more, like, because I know when it comes to American history, they only want to really hit hard on the whitewash history so that they look like heroes and they look victorious and like they're adventurers and they were able to create and do all of these amazing things. But then they don't want you to, it's kind of like if a real estate agent was going to show you a haunted house. But the thing is, this is a beautiful haunted house. But you don't want to open any of the doors or any of the closets, or especially not the basement. Yeah, the basement's probably with slave, like the Jim Crow slavery and all that. Yeah, and so, but it's like, so when people come in to visit, they see all of the beautiful artwork. So that, and that's like the the Constitution being made, but not the fact that women and black people got the right to vote and everything. But yeah, it's like they're like all of the adventures and when Columbus stole this land, but they're gonna, like, they paint over it, and it's like their ghosts and everything turn everything around to make it like, oh, he discovered. No, he didn't discover. Native Americans were here first. But in that, like, because just for an example, if that was like the main room, and it's beautiful and elegant and everything, but there might be a coat closet, but in the coat closet, it hides all of the violence and how all of the Native Americans were tortured and R-worded, and just like, even with the education in the schools, they try to force them. Well, yeah, this is part of Canada too, but yeah, we're only gonna cover America right now, but because a lot of them like had to, ooh, yeah, just like, yeah, a lot of us, a lot of minorities, we had to run up to Canada in order to, yeah. But then even Canada slipped up a little bit. But okay, yeah, sorry, yeah, okay. Back to America, because yeah, Canada's showing, like, yeah, they're showing how they're better than, yeah, when it comes to treatment of people and all lives matter. Yeah, Canada's showing how it's like, at least they know a better definition of all lives matter. Yeah. Okay, okay. See, okay, back to subject. Back to subject. Because it's like, so kind of in that closet, you're going to see, like, when after the Native Americans introduced them and showed them how to plant certain seeds so that they can get different crops. But then it's like, then you're going to see how once the colonizers realize, oh, they taught us everything we kind of need to know. So now we're going to hurt them and we're going to take over. And then it's like there might be like a drawer, like a beautiful dresser drawer. Don't open any of the drawers, because then you're going to see like more of the destruction and more of the takeover and more of the battling. And even one drawer might even have how the colonizers tried to enslave the Native Americans, but it didn't work because the Native Americans are native for a reason. They know the land because they were there first. And so, yeah, once they realized they couldn't get control, yeah, let's move on to the next room. So you might find where the kitchen is. And in a lot of homes, where the kitchen is a lot of times where the entrance for the basement is. Yeah, they're gonna show you the beautiful double oven and the stove, and it's like, so everything about how they started building the land, and it's like how they just, created one state after another and the history of each one. But then you might hear some tapping and banging on that basement door. But the real estate agent's like, no, 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 don't open that door. Don't open that door. And they're going to be like, why don't you want me to open that door? No, you don't. No, you don't want to. Because, yeah, because especially with the African American history, it's like they're going to show you how, oh, yes, like they helped us. It was like a trade, like we taught them trades. So they're going to show, like, oh, yeah, see, they're picking, like they helped pick. See, yeah. Oh, and then it's like, because, yeah, let's just say, Jim Crow and all that stuff, that's gonna be upstairs. So like the kitchen is just gonna be about the slavery. But if you open that door to the basement, yeah, that's when you're gonna find out about the whipping and the box where they would put slaves that didn't follow their directions. and then the babies who they threatened or they had as crocodile or alligator bait, and the women who they needed more like property, more slaves. So they had the women R worded to have more babies. Yeah, all of that coming from the basement and so much more. Even the experimental healthcare, quote unquote, or the experiments for healthcare without any type of painkillers or anything like that, to the point where it was absolute torture. Yeah. But then you might see the kitchen closet, like you have that one, like in the pantry. It's like that might be where the Underground Railroad is, but also it's going to show kind of like the start of our policing system, because America's police started with slave catchers. So, yeah, don't open that door, because, yeah, it's like you're going to see at least a little bit of the Underground Railroad, but at the same time, you're going to see how, yeah, you're going to see the ugly side of how they try to catch us and dehumanize us. And yeah, so, but yeah, I mean, that's just an example, but that's just how it feels. It feels like you see all of the beautiful like paintings and the stainless steel in the kitchen and the tiles and just the beautiful details, but don't open any of the doors, because that's when you're going to find the real truth. And that's why in schools they don't let any of the students open the doors or the drawers or the closets. Nothing. Just look at the walls, the whitewashed walls. Look at the beautiful whitewashed walls and all of the distorted paintings. They don't tell the truth, but it's good enough. They don't tell the truth, but if we lie to you for so many years in the school, you'll believe it. You'll be poorly educated, but you'll be educated. You'll be educated enough to vote and say what we want you to think and say. And then this will follow along generation after generation. And then you'll even have a prayer room. Don't open the doors in that prayer room. Do not, because, yeah, when it comes to not even how during slavery, they taught about, they would only teach the slaves about how it's good to be a good slave. And remember, yeah, know your history, because right now we have Republican MAGA YouTubers, or to, like, yeah, I think he's on YouTube. He is telling his congregation, he is telling people that slavery was not a bad thing, and to only read what's in the Bible. Don't go outside the Bible, because that is going to teach you wrong. But now he is telling people that slavery was not a bad thing. See, he doesn't want you to open any of the doors or closets in the house. He just wants you to look at the whitewashed walls. That's all he wants you to look at. But then, like, because in that prayer room, yeah, you're gonna have like at least one drawer or closet based off of, how it affected slavery. And then there's gonna be another one about the witch trials. Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah, there's going to be quite a few closets of how religion affected many people's lives, and even like taught people, like even with women's rights. It's like it's like the misogyny and everything like that, and how even present day, because see, that's the top floor is still being built, but the blueprint keeps being changed, because at first it was one where it welcomed diversity in everybody, equity and inclusion too. Like even this house used to have an elevator, especially for those with disabilities, but now you don't want to go in that elevator. You don't want to go in that elevator, because there was a good elevator and a bad elevator. Now they're both bad. because there's a dark history where they used to want to hide the disabled people. And they had their, I forgot what they called the rooms, but it was kind of like an embarrassment room. But it was a room where when they have guests, that's where they put their disabled person. Yeah. So there will be a closet for that you don't want to open that shows all of the terrible treatment of the disabled. But even with the blueprint on that top floor, they don't even know if the elevator is going to be able to even reach that top floor, because right now with our education department, it's like the orange guy is saying how if you try to teach the deaf and the blind, your schools aren't going to be funded. He wants to take money out of special education. He doesn't believe in DEI when it comes to education. It's like with a lot, and that's why I say he doesn't want you to open any of the doors of the closet. It's like the less educated, the more you know about that house, the more that you're not going to want to buy it. But as long as you don't open a drawer, as long as you don't open a closet, you are going to love that house. You will love that house as long as you don't like dig into, especially the shoe closet. As long as you don't open the bassinet, because there's some history when it comes to the babies too. Yeah. But back to the because with the disability, I'm thinking more and more about it, and they're doing quite a few things to the disability community. So yeah, let's just say they're probably covering that up now with beautiful carpet, like where that elevator should have been at. They're just cutting another big piece of carpet to cover it up. You can only go upstairs, and they'll even take off the handrails to make sure that those who might be able to go up with a handrail won't even be able to go up that way. But back to the main, and I said all of that because I know it's a large example, but now we're going to get back to the main subject of it, because think of all of that, but with African American history. All of our history, they're keeping in the closet. And now think of every closet as a book. They're banning all of the books. They don't want you to open the books like they don't want you to open the closet. But now they want to, like a lot of the MAGA people want us deported. I have a question, because not only where will they send us, but they don't realize they would have to give every single one of us first our reparations, but also a DNA test, because all of us African Americans, we're not that's like they think they got us all from the same tribes and we're just all the same. Do you know how many tribes there were and there are in Africa? How many cultures there are? Because some of them are like, well, no, you're all black, you're all African. Okay, let's just go to Europe then. Because it's like, well, Italians used to not be white, but then you included them within your colonizing department because you needed more power. The same thing with Irish. Yeah, I know my history. But then look at the German and the French. I mean, look at all of the types. And then we even have like those who say they're Greek, but they can check off that they're, Caucasian on that application. But it's like, so they, like, when they say that they are able to say what culture they are within their colonizing complexion, we can't. We would literally need to do a family tree. We would have to do so much research. But it's like, so if they want to try to deport us, they have to do some homework. They would have to do some homework, because you can't just send us all back to the same place, because that's not where we are all from. And it's their ancestors' fault. It's our history's fault of how we got here. But then there's also some of the MAGA people who are saying, you guys should just be thankful you're in this country. You should be thankful you have all these freedoms. And okay, but if you keep threatening that you want to send us back, it's like you used us, you used our family members, and then you Jim Crowed, and then you had whites only, and then we had to create the Green Book, and it's just like, and also the sharecropping, and then also you weren't allowing us to have education, so then we had to open up and start our own colleges and universities, and I mean, there is the drowned cities and the massacres, and it's like when they say we just have to be so thankful, but then it's like, especially, oh my gosh, the closet about the massacres and the drowned cities, that would be a scary closet to open. That would be a horrifying closet to open. The sundown towns, the strange fruit on the trees, that would be horrifying closets to open. But they want to send African Americans back. But they don't know each of our cultures. They don't know which tribes. They don't know, like, that they don't even know what boats we came off of to even try to figure that out. See, they have a lot of homework to do, even if they want to try that, if they want to attempt that. They keep trying to quiet us, silence us. They keep wanting us to just shut up and dribble, or shut up and work, and shut up and just settle with anything that they say. They don't want us to, like, be able to be successful. And it's really funny because, especially when it comes to the drowned and burned cities and the massacres, whenever I hear colonizers say, if you guys could just have a city by yourselves, if you guys could just be successful that way, we would be proud of you. We don't know why you don't do it. You should just do it. It just shows that they weren't ever shown any of those closets. And that's the funny thing, because with the scary movies, who normally opens the closets? But then at the same time, who normally goes out first in a scary movie? Yeah, the black people. Normally we're out first. I wonder why. Is it because, and sometimes we don't even make it to the house. Is it because we know so much of the history already? They don't want us to tell everybody else why they don't want to open, or why maybe they should take a peek of the closets? Because some people take a look and then they're out because maybe it's too much for them. Maybe it is too much for them. But yeah, usually the black people go out first. And maybe it's because it won't give them time to warn everybody else about the dangers and the horrifying things in the closets and the drawers and the basement. Maybe it's because the black person knows all the secrets and all the horrifying things already, and they're just like, no, we can't let you get to the rest, because once you tell your truth, they'll definitely never buy this house. And I know it's an odd example, but it's like, especially when I hear colonizers, they're just like, well, you guys should know your history too. Or you should know your heritage. You should know this or that. And it's just like, how? And it's like, the slaves didn't even know their birthday. They only knew their birth month. They weren't given a full identity. Like, their language was stolen. I've talked about this in another episode. When they brought the slaves over, they wanted to make sure they kept them silent. And so I know for a fact that they were from different cultures and different tribes, because they would put them in groups and they would see who would talk to each other. And once they found out, oh, they know each other or they know the same language, separate them. Because once they were able to separate everybody who knew the same language, there was no way for them to team together because none of them had a way to speak to each other. Communication is power, words is power, education is power. And they want to make sure that we're not able to talk to each other. And through history, they want to make sure that we were powerless. They wanted to make sure we couldn't get to college because college would have given us more power. It would have given us more advantage. And when we had successful towns and cities, that would have given us more power. So they tore it down, broke it down, burned it down, flooded it, and blamed us. So our history is America history. There are some good parts, but when you talk to African Americans, when they say that they want this country to be great again, you would have like for African American community, it's like our ancestors have been fighting generation after generation after generations. Like most of our history would be in the closets. Most of our history is hidden. It's like you might see some of our history displayed, and because, especially if we're talking about some of the Republican news channels, it's like they might even have a plaque like, oh, see, we have I have a dream speech right here. But then they in the closet, they hide the fact that the person who said the speech, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., they're going to hide how he passed away. That's going to be in the closet, but they're going to show that speech. Yeah. So, and with the Black Panthers, even, they're going to have that in a drawer. Even though it was to feed and tutor the children. But to them, they twisted it. They twisted the truth of their identity and who they were, and they turned them into villains. So yeah, let's just say that would be a very interesting house to visit. And then they say they want to send us home, but it's just like, how is this home? Which part is home? It's a continent, not a country. You guys stole our ancestors so many years ago. You stole our language and our culture to the point where we had to create our own culture. And then while we create our culture, you steal our culture. It's like you take, like, even with country music, so many of the roots of the country music is from African culture. And then a lot of the music, like trends and dances, you steal. And then, like, even with our fashion, they steal. And then they want to be of light complexion, but then they want to be tanned at the same time. But we have our permanent tan, but they hate our permanent tan, to the point where people of color, they come into the house and they see it, but they don't open the drawers. They don't open the closets. And the thing is, they didn't start seeing the house until maybe there were locks on the doors, because they didn't want to open those locks. They didn't want to hear that history. They just wanted to see the whitewashed history. So maybe there'll be a part two, but that would be kind of an interesting story to compare and symbolize and everything. Yeah. But anyways, it was just a thought while people keep saying that they want to send us back. But thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too.